And I love the fact that you've gone through a couple crazy times, because there are certain people that go through stuff where they hit a wall and then they go, fuck it, I'm out. Like, I'm just not going to do this. I'm not going to deal with it. Or they hear no a couple times, or they have to get to that point where they have to have that conversation with their wife. Maybe the wife goes, nah, we can't do this. And then they just put their dreams aside. So let's actually take that step back and go, you're leaving your job and telling your new wife at that point, I'm going to go do this thing.
Actually, we weren't even married yet at that point. Girlfriend. So she was my girlfriend at the time.
Well, then at that point, I guess she doesn't have as much say as a wife when you're like, hey, we're married and here's how this thing works. But you then made that call when you guys were married to then be able to shift. And how did you balance that, knowing like, hey, I've got to figure this stuff out and I don't know what exactly is going to happen? So how did you balance your mindset within taking those risks?
I think I've just always had the mentality of betting on myself. For me, at least, having a sports background, and I was always the personality that just, if the game was on the line, like I wanted to be the person either with a ball in my hand or a chance to win. Playing football, soccer, and a wrestler. When you're a wrestler, it's only up to you. Like, you don't have a teammate to come in and tag you out and like help you. It's not WWE. It's you mano a mano with another guy. So either he gets the best of you or you get the best of him. And so I think for me, the sports background really helped with wanting to go into business for myself and betting on myself. I also think having a family of business owners also helped me, because my grandfather ran a very successful business. My dad owned his own business with his brother. My other uncle owned his own business, and I had two aunts that owned theirs. So I think maybe it might also just be a family thing of we all like to work for ourselves. So I knew that I wanted to eventually do two things. One, run my own company, and two, find a place in this world where I could create value for people every day and help people for a higher cause outside of just a paycheck. And the jobs that I had before, in between, a lot of them were sales jobs. So I was really used to hearing the word no. And when you're in sales doing cold calls, you hear about 99 no's and one yes a day. So I got really immune to hearing no and having to really go back to the drawing board every day and find new clients, new customers that way with a, over the phone sales job. And I think everywhere that I've gone, every step of my journey so far in life, I've just learned different skills. And you learn how to take those different skills that you've learned when you work for somebody else and then see how you want to work for yourself or see how you want to run your business. And I think it just evolves. I don't think you ever actually really know what to do. You just kind of figure it out, but then you also bring other skills that you've had from other jobs into it as well. And it just starts to shape you and how you run your business and how you attack things. So for me, it was just, I'm still learning. I'm still growing. I mean, there's a ton of stuff that I still don't know. So for me, it's important to also have really accomplished people in my corner. I mean, I have a coach myself for my own personal fitness now. I also have a business coach that helps me along the way, so that way I can hopefully not make too many mistakes like I did early on. And so for me, as long as you're always trying to learn and you actually, for me, you have to kind of be messy at first and mess up. And I've messed up so much that to me, it's like, at least I'm taking the action. And when I do mess up, I can learn from that and learn what I messed up on to fix it. And then that can carry over as well further on down the line. When you fuck up, right? Like, and you learn that lesson of like, oh man, like I really fucked up this time. A lot of people then just want to kind of give up because they dug a big hole and they are not sure how they're going to get out of it. When I've really fucked up, I've just been like, okay, now we just got to work even harder to kind of get ourselves back to even, and then we'll figure it out. And the biggest thing I always say is I'll figure it out. My wife hates it when I tell her that because she's always like, well, how are you going to do this? I'm like, I don't know. I'm going to figure it out. Well, what do you mean you're going to figure it out? I don't know. I'm going to figure it out. Like, give me some time. I don't have the answers yet, but I will go find the answers. And I think if you're going to run your own business and work for yourself, you got to have that mindset of I'll figure it out and not give up at the first like speed bump. Because in my business, especially when you look at coaches, a lot of personal trainers leave this space within 2 years, which to me is just not enough time to really build your business up. Anybody that's been super successful, I think you're going to see most of your growth at least year 3, year 4, year 5, like somewhere in there is like when you're really going to start to get traction. Because there's so many steps along the way. And I know some people can really escalate their business a lot faster than maybe I have. I've seen it. But at the same time, some of us have different parts of their life that are going on, and some of us aren't willing to give up other things. I think I have a really good balance of what I actually want and where I want to go without giving up the things that I still enjoy as a person and not as a business owner. And so I think you got to be realistic with yourself as far as like, what am I willing to give up and what am I willing to do? And when you can kind of mesh those two together, you'll be a lot happier, because I see so many people that make a lot of money right now and they're miserable. And then I see other people that make less and then they're actually really happy and they have balance. So I think that's where the conversation starts with most entrepreneurs is, what do you want? And then what kind of balance do you want as well? And of course, there's seasons involved with that where if you have promotions or kickoffs and things that are going to keep you busy, you know, you're going to give up some things during those times. But how do you balance that out? To me, understanding balance inside of your business and your personal life will lead you to less burnout. And I think you see most people get burnt out because they're trying to grow too fast instead of understanding they're probably right where they need to be. And that comes with a little bit of understanding too. Like, if your goal is to be a millionaire and like you just are really ambitious and you don't have anything holding you back from just working 24/7, then hey, go for it. But you know, I have a wife and I have friends that I like to still play recreational sports with, and I don't want to give those things up yet. So until then I'm good with like the growth that we're at. And I think a lot of people got to have that conversation with themselves.